In this video, we're going to look at a couple of things I've been getting questions about when I set up one of my airplanes. But that's really just an excuse so I can get to try out a new camera system we're going to be using in the shop and maybe at the field. And as you can no doubt see, either my garage is turning over on its side or I don't have the camera very level in this new mount. I could edit that slant out, but y'all can just get used to it. This is the main part of the new camera system. It's got a pan and tilt built into this head. I also have a slider that this system goes on, but we'll be using that later on. The Canon video camera is one that we've been using for some time. And yes, this is the first video with this system, so get ready for a couple of mistakes. I use only the hook part of a hook and loop system on both my battery and the mounting tray. I mistakenly put the hook part on both the battery and the tray once, but noticed that when I set the battery in there, it wouldn't slide back and forth. All the straps have to do is hold the battery down into the hook parts, and it can't go anywhere. No matter how violent I get with the airplane, I've never had the battery move with this system. When setting the CG in a plane, I start out by making a fine line on the bottom side of the wing where the CG is supposed to be. On nearly all of my wings, I use a long square to make sure this line is square to the root of the wing. I make sure I align those lines on the wing panels with this cut in the center of the wing saddles on my Easy Balancer. And if I take my time and get my lines on those cuts in the saddles, it's easy to get the CG perfect on this plane. So far with all of the Flex Innovations planes I've had, I put the CG on the mark they give and I haven't had to change one of them. And I always make the final CG check with the battery hatch in place. When they make the hatches big enough to make it easy to get at the batteries, their weight can make a little bit of difference on the CG. With everything in the plane ready to go flying, I like for the plane to sit level on the balancer. Then if I move it either way from center, it'll gently settle in that direction. When it does that, I quit screwing around with it. The last thing I do is hook it up to the RI8 configuration tool and make sure that everything's going the right direction and I have all the control modes it's supposed to have. Here again, the only changes I've made to my RI8s is to add a little more expo, and I'm just used to that. And that's really all I do to get my Flex Innovations planes ready to go to the field. It took way longer to figure out how to get that new camera mount set up and get these videos shot. And I only had to shoot 4 hours of video to get 2.5 minutes.